Imagine waking up one day to find out that someone in your own family, your own blood, has been telling people that you are a pedophile, not a stranger, not an enemy, your sister. And not only has she said it out loud, but the story has a vehicle, a location, and witnesses ready to back it up. Except none of it is true. Not a single word. That is exactly the nightmare one young woman in Michigan found herself living, and what she did next, and what she learned about her legal options, is something everyone needs to hear. Let's set the scene here, because the context matters enormously. This young woman, 26 years old, has been living in her parents' home in Michigan for roughly the past 5 years. Her parents are what people call snowbirds. They spend their winters down in Florida and their summers back up north. So for large stretches of time, this young woman has essentially been holding down the family home on her own. That is not an unusual arrangement. Plenty of adult children do exactly this, especially when aging parents need someone reliable to keep an eye on the property. Now enter the older sister, 37 years old. And for those same 5 years, she has had a serious problem with her younger sister living in that house. We are not told why exactly. Maybe she feels entitled to the property. Maybe there is old family tension boiling under the surface. Maybe she simply resents the arrangement. But whatever the root cause, this older sister has been picking fights, causing scenes, and making the younger woman's life increasingly difficult. Then their father passed away. And as anyone who has dealt with family dynamics after a death knows, grief has a way of tearing the lid off everything that was already simmering underneath. The fights escalated, the behavior got worse, and things were about to get much, much more serious. So let's walk through exactly what happened, piece by piece, because the escalation here is important to understand. It started with the internet router. The older sister entered the family home without her younger sister's knowledge, apparently while she was there alone, disconnected the router, and told their mother over the phone that she was taking it. The mother was down in Florida at the time. But here's the thing. The older sister did not actually remove the router from the house. She hid it, deliberately, in another room. And she did not reveal this until she called their mother on the phone and told her where it was. This is bizarre behavior, and it resulted in police being called to the home for suspected theft. Think about that. The situation had deteriorated to the point where law enforcement was involved over a hidden internet router. But it did not stop there. More than a month later, the older sister came back to the house. She picked another fight with her younger sister, and then, when asked to leave, and then told to leave, she refused. She would not go. Again, the police were called. This is now the second law enforcement visit to the family home because of this woman's conduct. Now, you might be wondering, where is the mother in all of this? She is down in Florida. She is grieving the loss of her husband. She is dealing with her own heartbreak. And she is hundreds of miles away while her 2 daughters are in open conflict inside the family home. That is an incredibly difficult position for everyone involved. Here is where the story takes a turn that is genuinely alarming. The younger woman's mother received a call from an aunt, a family member, not even a direct party to any of this, informing them that the older sister had been telling people that her younger sister was in a sexual relationship with a minor, a child. She had accused her own 26-year-old sister of pedophilia. Now, how did this accusation supposedly gain any traction? The older sister and a middle sibling, 45 years old, along with that sister's fiancé, claimed to have spotted a vehicle similar to the one the younger woman drives in the parking lot of a local high school. Similar, not confirmed, not verified. In fact, both of them openly admitted that they did not actually confirm who was in the car. They saw a car that looked like her car in a parking lot, and apparently that was enough to build an accusation of criminal sexual conduct against a minor. The younger woman is clear. She was not in that parking lot. She was not in that car at the high school. And she states plainly and firmly that any and all accusations of this nature are entirely untrue and completely unfounded. But here is the brutal reality of a false accusation like this. It does not matter that it is untrue if enough people hear it and believe it. The damage is done the moment the words leave someone's mouth. and the damage may already be happening. The younger woman mentions that she has been trying to secure better employment, and she has a strong suspicion, though no concrete proof, that her sister has been actively sabotaging those efforts. How? We are not told exactly. Maybe she has been contacting potential employers. Maybe she has been spreading the rumors in the local community. Maybe it is something else entirely. But when you are dealing with someone who is willing to hide a router, call the police over fabricated situations, refuse to leave a home when asked, and then accuse you of crimes involving children, the idea that she might also be torpedoing job opportunities does not seem like much of a stretch. So the younger woman turned to the internet seeking legal guidance, and the question she asked is one that a lot of people in similar situations ask. Do I have legal standing for slander? Let's talk about that, because this is where things get genuinely useful. Slander is a form of defamation. Defamation is the legal term for a false statement of fact that damages someone's reputation. It breaks down into two categories: libel, which is written, and slander, which is spoken. When someone accuses you of crimes involving children, and that accusation is false, you are potentially in defamation territory. But whether or not a lawsuit is viable depends on several factors. First, the statement must be false. In this case, the younger woman maintains firmly that the accusations are entirely untrue. Second, the statement must have been communicated to a third party, someone other than just the two of you. In this case, the accusation was apparently spread among family members and possibly further, given that an aunt was the one who informed the mother. Third, and this is where many defamation cases run into difficulty, you typically need to demonstrate actual harm. Not just hurt feelings, which are real and valid, but quantifiable damage, lost job opportunities, lost income, damage to professional reputation. If the younger woman can connect the sister's statements to specific employment opportunities that fell through, that becomes significant. It is difficult to prove, but it is not impossible, especially if the pattern of interference can be documented. Fourth, there is the question of whether these statements qualify as defamation per se. In most states, including Michigan, falsely accusing someone of a crime is considered defamation per se, which means the harm is presumed. You do not necessarily have to prove specific damages in the same way. Accusations of sexual misconduct, especially involving minors, fall squarely into this category. That is actually a meaningful advantage if this case goes anywhere legally. The practical steps here are important. Document everything. Every incident, every date, every witness, every police report. Those 2 prior police calls are actually valuable here because they establish a documented pattern of harassment and hostile behavior. Write down what was said, who said it, who heard it, and when. Save any text messages, voicemails, or social media posts related to any of this. Consult a defamation attorney. Many offer free initial consultations. In Michigan specifically, you will want someone familiar with defamation per se standards, and you will want to act before the statute of limitations, typically 3 years in Michigan for defamation, runs out. Consider a cease and desist letter. Sometimes a formal legal letter from an attorney demanding that someone stop making false statements and outlining the potential consequences if they continue is enough to make a person think twice. It is not a lawsuit, but it signals that you are serious and that you have legal representation. And regarding the employment sabotage, if you can identify specific employers who were contacted, or if you can document any direct connection between the sister's actions and your lost opportunities, speak to an attorney about tortious interference as well. That is a separate but related legal avenue. Here is the larger lesson in all of this. False accusations are a form of abuse. When someone uses the legal system, family relationships, and community reputation as weapons against you, they are causing real harm, and the law recognizes that. You are not powerless. Defamation law exists precisely because words have consequences, and people who weaponize false statements about serious crimes do not get to walk away without accountability. If you are in a situation where a family member or anyone else is spreading false accusations about you, especially accusations of criminal conduct, document everything from day one. Do not wait. do not assume it will blow over. Every piece of evidence you collect is a brick in the foundation of your legal case. If this happened to you, or if you know someone dealing with false accusations, family harassment, or questions about defamation and legal rights, drop a comment below. Share your experience. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe. We cover real legal situations that real people face every single day, and the information here could make a serious difference in someone's life.